Thank you both. That's very kind.
Now, both of you are looking great, so basically there's no need to travel all the way to Turkey. And it's a different style, so that's all. Okay, so it's 2 minutes. I just wanted to see if everyone can hear, just to gonna ask whether they can hear us. Hello, just to reply on the chat button. Hello everyone, if you can hear us well. Hello, Visan, Praveen. Hi, Praveen. Jude. Yes, we can hear. Fantastic. Suleiman. Okay, Varun. Yes. Okay, so seems like, people are joining, but at the same time, just wanted to check the connectivity, make sure that everyone can hear us well. And just to give you a tip here, in case you have any difficulty or you can't hear us at some point, just refresh the browser. Sometimes it helps. Like, for example, Heldio, you're saying it's cutting, but try to refresh the browser, and then that should resolve. Praveen, yeah, good. Ishan, fantastic. Abdul, yes, can hear you. Fantastic. Wissam, hi Wissam, perfect. So, Ayubami, if it's a bad network, also check the Wi-Fi or refresh the browser. Sometimes it could help. So, audible. Okay, fantastic. So before we start, first of all, thanks for everyone to join this thanks everyone to joining this webinar. Before we start, if you can also in the chat button maybe reply here, what country are you from? Just let us know which country are you joining from. Srini, India, fantastic. Okay, Bissam, Iraq, fantastic. Saudi Arabia, Nepal, hi Sanjay. Yes, we have Abdul from Afghanistan, Heldia from Mozambique, hi Sri Lanka, Ishan, Rahil from Saudi, hi Rahil, Samir from South Africa, fantastic. Suleiman from UK, Kenya, hi Abakar. And Vivek, India, fantastic. So let us know, please reply. We will be starting in we actually can start now, isn't it? So perfect. So our today's topic is about the Isle of Man, Innovator and Startup visas. As you know, the Isle of Man government has introduced these Innovator Startup visas in April this year after Tier 1 entrepreneur, after the quite famous Tier 1 entrepreneur visa category, where a client had to invest 200,000, but now under the Innovator visa, you can only, you can start with less investment, so with £50,000 under the Innovator visa. Of course, you need to have innovative business idea, which we'll cover that in detail. Just about myself, I'm Muzaffar. I have been in this business immigration for many years. I actually coming from project financing background, from banking background, like Trevor. I have solid experience in investment banking and project finance, and so also in venture capital, because we have a sister company called Seed Mentors, and I've been involved in supporting startup companies with fundraising and investments, and I have the strong experience in bringing in foreign direct investment into the UK. I think Mike, just want to make sure, Mike, are you up? Okay, great. Let me introduce. We have guest speakers today, Trevor and Mike. Hi, Trevor. Hi, Mike.
Hi.
Okay, fantastic. So let me just give brief. As you can see on the slides, Trevor, he's joining us today. He's actually based on the Isle of Man. He's actually joining us from the Isle of Man. And he's the director at Seed Mentors Isle of Man Limited. And Trevor has a solid experience in banking. He's a former Lloyd's TSB branch manager. And Trevor has also been on the advisory board for a number of companies, preparing them to register, whether it's a corporate matters or providing corporate assist services on the Isle of Man, and obtaining the endorsement, especially when it comes to the Innovator visas that we're talking about, the key requirements to get the endorsement. And Trevor has a very good relationship with Isle of Man government, and he's very well connected on the Isle of Man, and he also helped companies with required funding investment through the growth stage. So he's very experienced in startups as well. But just to give a bit background, as I said, Trevor he has a solid banking background. He was a Lloyd, branch manager of Lloyd's Bank, isn't it, Trevor? Perhaps you can also add comments here.
Yes, I was actually head of the Isle of Man corporate banking, which involved running the some elements of the retail side of things as well. It's almost like a franchise in the island, so where it used to be. Yeah, I got to run a bank with a large name, but in a small business almost. So it was fun, and yeah, fun while it lasted, and now it's been absorbed into the bigger bank through restructuring, which was why I decided to move on and do other things and help other people.
Fantastic, Trevor. Thank you very much. And we have Michael Rodriguez. He's our immigration lawyer. Michael has joined Campbell's Law from he worked for PwC, Big Four as well in the legal team, and Mike worked for PwC, and he also worked for Fragerman, a famous law firm in the UK. Mike, perhaps you can just brief add comments about yourself and before we start.
Yeah, sure. Yeah. As you already introduced, yes, I have been working for the big four companies and Ernst & Young, PwC, and also Fragerman, which is a law firm just specialized in immigration only. I have been helping corporate companies moving their assignees and employees across the globe, and also with private immigration matters as well. Just joined Confield earlier this year, and I'm looking forward to keep helping these new applicants as well.
Just to add some comments here, Mike, thanks for this brief introduction. But also, I just want to add, since also Mike joined, we have keeping our 100% success record. We don't have any failed cases yet, so Mike has been fantastic with all the cases, whether it's a sole representative, whether it's tier one investor or the innovator startup. So we've since Mike joined, I think Mike joined in April, wasn't it, like May? Sorry,
right,
end of May. Since May, Mike has processed a number of visa applications, and all of them we have 100% success rate. As I said, so far we have this maintaining 100% success rate. So fantastic job, Mike. Thank you very much for that. Also about Seed Mentors, I mentioned that Trevor is a director at Seed Mentors, and Seed Mentors, just to give you a bit of background, because I've been working also in the venture capital field, and been involved in the startups, as I said, and Seed Mentors has been investing more for the last, say, 8 years. Seed Mentors invested more than 80 startup companies, and we have closed 14 portfolios, 14 funds, I would say, and invested more than 80 startup companies, many innovative technology businesses, and I involve, for example, I liaise with endorsing bodies quite closely, and I have a very strong relationship with venture capital firms in the UK and the endorsing bodies. And as we speak now, like yesterday, we successfully got 2 endorsements for our clients for the Innovator visas. Okay, so our law firm, Canfield's Law, of course, law firm Canfield's Law will be doing all the immigration work when it comes to the immigration matters. So, and Canfield's Law is Lexel accredited law firm, is the member of Law Society, and immigration is one of the key areas. So I mentioned about the Isle of Man success cases, and Mike, Trevor know. As you know, we have I would say more than 30 successful Isle of Man tier 1 entrepreneur visas. As you know, the under the Tier 1 entrepreneur visa, which was closed in April this year, mind of man. In the UK, it was closed in April last year. But of course, requirement was that you had to invest £200,000, and you could do any business in any industries apart from development, property development. But of course, we've been very, very busy with helping our clients with this Tier 1 entrepreneur visa through the Isle of Man. And the deadline was April this year. So we had to submit all the cases by April this year. And, in recent weeks, we also received a number of successful Tier 1 entrepreneur visas, and our clients investing on the Isle of Man. They are setting up these businesses, whether it's a yoga retreat, whether it's airline consultancy, whether it's a beverage business or food supply, IT technology. And Trevor is helping our clients with all the corporate matters, isn't it, Trevor? So, for example, our clients that whom we successfully got the visas for the Isle of Man, entrepreneur visas now, maybe you can brief about what support we give. I mean, what support, for example, you give on the Isle, Trevor?
Hi, thanks, Visatier. Yeah, so when you apply to the Isle of Man with the Innovator visa, we need to be able to speak to the Department for Enterprise, particularly to the person that assesses the applications for endorsement. So the first thing that I do is I help with the writing of the business plan to make sure that it fits the island and that it has intelligence from the island's perspective. The next thing that I do is to have an off-record discussion with the Isle of Man endorser to see whether or not he wants anything perhaps adding to a business plan or altering before endorsement is granted. That obviously is very helpful because it means that we wouldn't proceed with anything that he wasn't going to endorse, and equally it gives us confidence to know that it's going to be endorsed. So that's the first thing, really dealing with the business plan and then talking to the endorsing body. We then need to set up a company and register it with the Isle of Man company registry, and then proceed to open bank accounts, which you would think would be easier than it is. Unfortunately, it's a lot more difficult than it was when I was running Lloyds Bank. I can say that very certainly, where I used to do it in a couple of hours and give a guarantee that I could open an account in a couple of hours. And we were very successful in doing that because since I've left and now we have a situation where if you can get agreement to open a bank account, which is very difficult unless you have Isle of Man addresses and all the and everybody's already island based, then the quickest that we've been offered potentially would be with a bank that said that they would do it within 48 hours. That would be wonderful because our next quickest is 2 weeks as a minimum, and the norm is between 6 to 8 weeks, and even longer. Whether or not the COVID issues that have caused people to work from home for some banks is to be believed to be a reason. I can't say that's the case because the Isle of Man's COVID free and everybody's been working normally since about June. So I would suggest that it's an excuse rather than a reason. But opening a bank account is tremendously difficult.
Yeah, and I'm sure with Trevor's, I mean, that's what we offer now for clients. When you set up a business, it is difficult, but the way what we've structured that we support you. Because, for example, if you want to set up a business on the island, you need to have a local Isle of Man director. You need to have a local. You need to have a local Isle of Man director to open a bank account, like Trevor said. So we structured under the corporate assist service. We structured this service in a way that the difficult part becomes easy for you, because we will do that. We'll give you that support. So Trevor, thank you very much for that comments. Regarding the, you can see on the screen, this is a, for example, successful case, isn't it, Mike, from our client from Mauritius. She said that she really enjoyed the smooth process that took place with your organization to guide me through my endorsement. Although I had in-depth knowledge of my project, she says, however, without the input of the experts from your organization, it would have been impossible for me to make it on time. It was, Mike, it was quite a strict deadline, wasn't it, for this client? And then the good thing that what we've done is actually we met this deadline. We got the visa, the endorsement letter by that timing, so we could submit her case on time, wasn't it, Mike?
Yes, it was quite a case. Yes, indeed. Yes.
So, and then she's commenting here, say, I have an amazing, friendly, and extremely talented. Well, you have an amazing, friendly, and extremely talented team who are prompt to answer any of my queries, which boost my confidence level. And I would highly recommend anyone who wishes to become an innovator or in the UK or Isle of Man and use your services. And I look forward to your mentorship program. By the way, regarding the mentorship, so we do also provide the mentorship support to our clients, because we understand when you set up a new business, you need support, and we offer a 3-year program for you. So we've been very, very active. Of course, we travel a lot as well. We, like here, you can see me on speaking on the Dubai seminar that our firm has organized, Canfors Law has organized, and we had more than 100 investor clients who were really interested in applying for the Isle of Man. And then, for example, you can see also during the pandemic, the flights are less, of course, and we've been doing webinars, and that actually has been one of the effective way to tell how we can support and how we can help you with these visas. So the agenda for today, it's all about the Isle of Man Startup Innovator visas. We will be announcing bonuses, so stay with us until the end. At the end of the presentation, we will announce quite exciting, interesting bonuses that we believe will be beneficial for you. And of course, as I said, stay with us until the end, so you'll hear those bonuses. Isle of Man has a number of its own attractions. If you, for example, heard about the Isle of Man, of course, it will be additional information that for you. But for example, if you haven't heard about the Isle of Man, we'll give this briefing during today's presentation and advantages, because there are a number of great advantages of applying for these startup and innovator visas by the Isle of Man, and we'll give you the comparative analysis during today's presentation, so you can compare between UK innovator visa and the Isle of Man. And I'll you know, if you ask me which is better, which is much more easy, well, how to say, which is actually gives you like there's a fast track options, and from the easiness or from the is an easiness of extensions, Isle of Man is innovator startup visa are the best comparing to the UK, and we'll tell you why. So Isle of Man is, as you can see on the screen, Trevor, perhaps you can also comment here. Isle of Man is located between Republic of Ireland and UK. It's very convenient if, you have great transport links. It's 30 minutes from London City Airport. You can literally take, and you have everyday flights. So people actually travel from London to the Isle of Man as well on a daily basis, and like to the work, for the commute to the work as well. And whether you can also take ferry, and Isle of Man has it's about 88,000 population of 88,000 people, and it's quite conveniently located, isn't it, Trevor?
Yes, although it is an island, we have the airport is really small enough to allow smooth travel. We tend to be able to just go less than an hour before flights. EasyJet provide a very speedy service to London Gatwick. Loganair have taken over a number of routes as well. And as we saw on the map, there's flights to a number of different places, but for London and Manchester in particular, you can fly, certainly to Manchester you can fly in the morning and fly back in the evening. To London you probably need a night overnight, to be perfectly honest, but the timing of flights can change depending on its summer or winter, and obviously at the moment there's less travel because we've remained COVID free on the island because we've closed the borders, and so if I was to leave the island today, when I return I have to, and my whole household have to hide away for 14 days for containment. Yeah, so that has affected the number of routes that are available and flying at this moment. But when we're back again, you can see the flights, and very short flight to Dublin, very short flight to Belfast, very short flight to Liverpool.
Yeah, Edinburgh, London. Yeah, perfect. And there are many advantages. I mean, of investing or choosing the Isle of Man. Of course, we'll tell about the Innovator visas as well. I mean, why they're much more advantages, or much more sort of beneficial to choose the Isle of Man rather than UK. But of course, from living, from doing business. It's a great place to do business, first of all. It has a diverse, like the GDP, I think, Trevor, correct me for here, like whether the airline or like motor racing, I think the yearly, those motor racing industries also add quite a lot to the gross domestic product, the value to the economy. Welcoming locals, you have different nationalities, isn't it? Like how people feel, like for example, in terms of the, in terms of the locals. Can you briefly tell about the friendly environment, I would say, from the island?
Yeah, so it is a great place to do business because we have a lot of international finance here, the corporate service providers, and also the e-gaming companies are here because they're here because there's a good infrastructure in terms of support and legally. So there's a lot of good lawyers, structuring, because it's a low tax jurisdiction here, means that there's an awful lot of wealth that's managed from here. That means that there's other opportunities. So when I was corporate banking in Lloyd's, we were dealing with some very large transactions, people who were using structures here to purchase property and to run businesses and hold businesses across the world. So there are, for the size of town and for the size of business community, the amount of and complexity of work is really quite surprising to somebody that first comes. I think in terms of employment opportunities, that does mean that there are a lot of call for IT as well as sort of lawyers and accountants and things like that. Now, welcoming. So half the island population would call themselves indigenous Manx people. Now, I say half. I think it's just less than half now. So more than half of the island are people who've come to the island to live, whether that's from England or from Scotland, or other parts of the British Isles, from Ireland, or whether that's for people who come from further afield. It is very noticeable that there's a large number of people who know what it's like to come and set up life without family to support you here, and so therefore there's a lot more sympathy for people coming in than perhaps you'd expect, if you like, from those who are been here a long while. So people remember, oh, we know what it's like, and we know what it's like for the wives, and we know what it's like for people who and kids who are trying to set in the schools and things. So generally speaking, very welcoming. And in terms of, shall I go on with the other bits as well?
Please, Soleil was asking, tell us about nursery, kindergarten, schools, and universities. So that you can briefly tell.
Yeah, so with child nursery, there's private nurseries that offer a nursery up and down the island. A lot of them, primary schools have nurseries attached to them as well, so it helps your child to get used to going along to big school when they move out to the nursery. The
public schools are free.
The public schools, though, are free, like the UK, so they work to the UK curriculum as well. The schooling is of a good standard. The results that they obtain are good. People do go on then to universities in the UK and further afield as well. We are classed as foreign for English universities. There is some support from the Isle of Man government to families that's peculiar to your circumstances and to your income and things like that. But most people's children will go to the UK to university and come back, hop across on the ferry or one of the flights during the holidays to come back home. It is a stable government, and the government here, we don't have party politics, so people are the members of the House of Keys, which is the longest continuous parliament. It's been in existence since 500 and something when the Vikings initiated it, and although they rely on the UK for foreign policy, the government have their own tax raising powers and have complete autonomy. And they're very nimble at listening to businesses about what would give them an advantage. And that's been one of the things that's driven the growth of the Isle of Man economy when the neighbouring islands have suffered. It really is a safe place, so not uncommon to leave your house unlocked at night, not uncommon to leave it unlocked all day, not uncommon to leave your car unlocked and your car keys in your car. So that gives you an idea of how safe it is. I have an 11-year-old daughter who we don't fear her being out even beyond darkness and coming home on her own. So that gives you an idea of how safe it is. And the air is very fresh. So there's no pollution, and people find it tiring when they first come here after only using part of their lungs. In smog-filled cities, and they come here and they find the air very invigorating and very tiring. I think it gives people a good night's sleep.
Yeah,
pace of life is relatively slow. No traffic for traffic jams, even if you're going to work in Douglas. So you know that it's going to be half an hour to get into work.
Fantastic. Thank you very much, Trev, for these comments. And just to add, yes, you mentioned about COVID-free. The island, the government is actually keeping the island clean from, and it's a very safe place to live. You mentioned about the criminal rate is, I would say, close to zero. There's literally no criminal rates, or close to zero. So that's also, like Trevor said, it's a very safe place for your family. It's a very family-friendly place. And also, you get British citizenship, isn't it, Trevor? Like on the Isle of Man, you don't have like Isle of Man citizenship, isn't it? Like they call British citizenship.
That's right, yeah. So I have a British passport that happens to be issued in the Isle of Man.
Perfect, thank you. Just to continue on the Isle of Man, the capital is Douglas, and I mentioned about the population, and it's actually on the summer it's a very touristic destination, and summer the population reaches 120,000, because many people travel, and also, as I mentioned about the motor racing, because Ireland is very, very famous with this motor racing in the summertime. So that's why you have more people are coming on the summertime. And what it's like, I think we've briefed about, Trevor mentioned, and just from my end, I just want to say that it has a crown dependency status. Like Isle of Man has a crown dependency status. It's still independent island, but correct me, Trevor. So Queen Elizabeth is the head of the island.
We're a crown protectorate. Stems back to the Civil War, the English Civil War, and basically Parliament didn't take over, so it remained a place that was that effectively became dependent on the UK for foreign policy. As a result, the Queen is termed the Lord of Man, which was the title of the ruler here in the past. So.
Yeah, perfect. Thank you very much. And also it got a UNESCO Biosphere award for the nature. It has a beautiful nature, beautiful islands and beaches. So that's also, in my opinion, is quite attracts people to live there, to do business. Of course, you get also, apart from what we said about it, we mentioned about the advanced infrastructure, solid infrastructure, transfer and technology, but also the government is very, very supportive, including like financial support, including loans, like Trevor mentioned, grants or equity support. And of course, the government is welcoming innovators. Like, for example, if you have innovative business idea, if you are an innovator, come to the island. The government will support you. The government will endorse your business plan if you are genuinely setting up a business and genuinely like to grow that business. We mentioned about the tax. I know, like Mike, you need to leave at in 10-15 minutes, so we'll be quick just to catch up on the immigration part. Just I'm checking my time here, but we just want to brief about the island because for many people, I believe it's a quite key point to mention. So the taxation, Trevor has mentioned about the benefit of doing business. People register companies on the island. He mentioned about the wealth. There are many wealth management firms on island because also it's a great place to do business. And the taxation, you get the corporate tax is zero. The capital tax is zero, inheritance tax zero, so you get the benefit from the taxation because in the UK it's 19% corporate tax, but on the island is zero. And health, one of the greatest benefit of this visa, on Innovator visa or startup visa, your children, like your dependents, can come under this visa, they can work. Mike will mention, but they can work, there is no like dependence, your spouse can join you, and they don't have any restrictions in terms of looking for jobs because you have the full right to work under the dependence visa. And then children, if you have children at school age, it's a great place to stay. Public schools are free. You have great schools. You have 33 primary schools widely spread across the island. Providing education for children from 4 years old up to 11 years old, 2 independent schools, and free education under the Innovator visa. So medical, just a point, medical is also free for your family. And Ireland has the similar NHS style of services, similar to NHS, and it's free at the point of delivery. And of course, free at the point of free on the island, but also it's similar to NHS as I mentioned. And visas, visa and immigration is we mentioned about the crown dependency, but also you get the island uses the services of British embassies. So you don't need to have a stamping when you travel from the UK. You don't need to have a visa. It's a free entry because Isle of Man and UK signed the Free Movement Treaty. I think it was signed in 1921, wasn't it, Trevor? Which allows people.
Don't test me on that.
So, which allows freely to move, like people freely move between the UK and Ireland. You don't need to have a visa, you don't have a stamping, etc. So, Mike can mention that we can assist. There are other visas apart from Innovator Startup. We can help with Tier 1 investor visas in Ireland and a number of benefits. We can do the Startup Innovator visas and the Solo Representative visas. Startup, of course, Mike, perhaps you can briefly tell about the startup visa requirement for anyone who would like to apply for a startup visa. But also, before Mike, you give your comments, I just wanted to ask our audience, how familiar are you with the startup visa program? Please do reply yes or no. If yes, if you heard about the startup visa, please reply yes. If you haven't heard about then reply N or no. Mike, what can you say about the startup visa briefly? I know you need to leave.
Yes, basically the startup visa, it has been designed for those ones who want to come to the Isle of Man to start up, to initiate a business and work on that business. In some, it is a visa that is valid for up to 2 years. It cannot be extended after that. It needs to be switched to another visa category. And that visa is going basically to allow you to work not only for your own business, but you are eligible to work, to take employment somewhere else as well in the Isle of Man. You can bring your dependents with you. Dependents, I mean your married spouse or a person who you have been in a relationship akin to marriage for the last 2 years, and any children who are under the 18 years old. And it is a very easy, I would say, fast-track visa to get, because it doesn't require to show any specific funds for you to get this particular visa. And in the same way as works with the Innovator visa, it will require an endorsement from the Department of Enterprise, as Trevor was talking us earlier. But having the endorsement given by them, you just need to submit an application at a designated visa application center where you are based in your country, and the visa is valid for 2 years for you to develop your business idea.
Perfect. So as Mike said, it's 2 years. You need to have innovative business idea, and after 2 years, I mean, for example, if you're who's startup visas, I mean, if you ask me who are the best sort of applicants, I would say anyone who's joining, for example, university, you don't have a business experience, for example, you have a great business idea, but you want to test it. If you want to test this, and maybe the startup visa is like a stepping stone before you switch to the Innovator visa, because it's a visa given for 2 years, and after 2 years you apply or switch to the Innovator visa. Switch to the Innovator visa, and then the Innovator visa will begin for 3 years, and that 5 years down the line you can apply for indefinite leave to remain, which will be UK indefinite leave to remain, which allows you to also do business in the UK once you obtain it. And another advantage of startup visa, of course, within a 2 years time you can work. You can work, the government allows you to work, but the disadvantage, I would say, it takes longer to get the indefinite leave to remain, because you need to still switch to the Innovator visa. It's for new, high potential, ambitious entrepreneurs. As I said, if you want to test your idea, your idea has to be innovative, viable, and scalable. And you need to also get the endorsement. Your family can join you under the startup visa. Spouse can work full time. Children can join you. Dependents under 18 years old. So, and you need to be focusing on developing your business idea within that 2 years. And you can work as well. You switch, we mentioned, and the endorsement body is the Department for Enterprise on the Isle of Man. If you compare in the UK, they're mainly venture capital firms, accelerators, but on the island, it's the government. It's a Department for Enterprise that actually endorses, and we have a very good, Trevor has also very, very good relationships, so we can assist you. But your business needs to be, you need to set up a genuine business. You need to have an innovative, viable, and scalable business idea. So that's the startup visa. Before we switch to about the Innovator visa, Mike, I know in 3 minutes you need to leave, but please feel free. I can cover the Innovator visa. But just wanted to ask our clients, audience, do you have an innovative idea for a startup visa? So let's say, please reply. Do you have yes? Say yes, yes, great. So, okay, some people are also saying that they have innovative business idea. That's good to hear. About the endorsing body, I mentioned about the event, like in the UK, there are 46 currently, isn't it, Mike? The endorsing body is listed on the Home Office website. And they're mainly venture capital firms, accelerators, incubators. And they're quite strict when it comes to the innovation, viability, and scalability of the endorsement. On the island, one of the greatest benefit is that it's a Department of Enterprise. It's a government, and you don't have a quota. Like, for example, on the UK, all the endorsing bodies, they have up to 50 cases they can endorse per year. But on the department, there's no quota. So that's another great opportunity. But what just want to say, Department of Enterprise, Trevor, and you have a good relationship, isn't it, like with Department of Enterprise? Maybe we can quickly elaborate about the endorsing bodies on the Isle of Man.
Yes, as I said earlier, so I'm the Isle of Man are using one particular person in the Department for Enterprise to issue the endorsements and to consider the plans. That just happens to be somebody that I've known since I arrived here, and I get on very well with. And so he's been able to tell me what instructions he has, how rather than like the UK, the Isle of Man is looking to attract people. They are looking to attract people who are going to bring some kind of business or service that does not in any way take away from existing businesses here. So, for example, if you were going to say you wanted to start up a coffee shop, then the government would be minded to say that that wasn't innovative enough because it would be taking custom from existing coffee shop businesses. Where one that we've seen go through successfully was a lawyer. Now, there's an awful lot of lawyers on the island, but because that lawyer was somebody who practiced in South Africa and is bringing business to the island, the government were very happy to issue an endorsement because their view was that this was going to bring business into the island and wealth and structures from another jurisdiction. So it depends on what your business is, but what they don't want is for you to have to demonstrate that it's a brand new, brand spanking idea. It has to be innovative to the island, effectively, rather than innovative per se. And that's a great advantage when you're considering whether to go to the UK or to the island, because the Isle of Man is interested in people coming, bringing something extra, bringing something additional, and creating jobs here on the island. So jobs and wealth, basically. That's the viewpoint of the government and the department that's issuing the endorsement visas. And as I said, because I know him so well, he's happy to look at draft business plans that we do and to give us some feedback before we put forward the official document for agreement, for endorsement.
Perfect, Trevor. Just to add here, in order to be eligible or in order to get the endorsement, as we mentioned earlier, your business needs to meet three criteria: innovation, viability, and scalability. So under the innovation, you have a genuine original business plan to meet new or existing market needs and have a competitive advantage. Viability, you need to have the necessary skills, knowledge, and experience and market awareness to successfully run the business. And the scalability, of course, you need to show that you have a structured planning, evidence of structured planning, and potential for job creation, and also expansion internationally, outside the Isle of Man in future. So, and also you need to show that you'll spend your entire working time in Isle of Man in developing business. And but we can assist you with endorsements. Like Trevor said, we have a very, very good relationship with endorsing bodies. So the quick question to our audience, I know Mike, perhaps, as I said, maybe if you need to leave at 45, so please feel free. But perhaps you can, if you want to give some comments about the Innovator visa, because the next subject is Innovator visa. But I think,
yes, I would say just before I leave, I would say that the Innovator visa is, I would say that the good thing for that visa is that there is a residency requirement for anyone who wants to apply for the permanent visa, and that requirement is, it says that any migrant has to be in the island for at least 180 days per year. But if you do not qualify for that, for some reason you have a business somewhere else and you need to spend some time working somewhere else as well, when the 3 years arrive, you have not met the requirement for the ILR, which is indefinite leave to remain. You can just extend your visa, which for the startups that's not possible because you need to change from another visa. And there are other visas as well that there is a limitation with time you are allowed to stay in the country. So in other words, you have not met the requirement, you can just keep it extending it until you are able to meet that requirement. So this is something that is very good at this visa.
Perfect, Mike. Yeah, I totally agree. And I'd like to really thank you for attending our webinar today. I know you need to leave at 45. You mentioned earlier. So thanks for your contribution. And then yes, just to audience, Mike is very, very experienced in immigration. He will be submitting your applications. Mike has 100% success rate. He joined our firm in end of May. Since we've done many innovative startup visa applications and we have successfully got them. So Mike, thank you very much for your hard work and contribution.
Thank you very much. Bye bye, Mas. Bye bye, Trevor, and bye bye, everybody as well.
Bye. So thanks for your reply. Thanks for the audience to reply. And I can see that many people like the startup visa on the islands. Now we're moving about the Innovator, but Mike briefed about the Innovator visa's advantage. From my end, I can say, well, first of all, just want to ask again our audience, have you heard about this program? If you haven't heard about this program, please put yes or why, or if you haven't heard, please put N or no. So how familiar are you with the Innovator visa program? Yeah, so please let us know. Good. Salvation, Vinette, Samuel, good to hear. Herbert, but need deep knowledge. That's fine. We'll give that deep knowledge, Wissam. So Innovator visa, as it was a replacement, as we mentioned, for Tier 1 entrepreneur visa category. And this is for mainly, we mentioned about the startup visa. If you are actually coming from university or you don't have business experience, startup visa may be the best start. But if you have, this is really for the experienced business people. For example, if you have business experience, then it's a great. Innovator will be a choice, and also you need to have at least £50,000. You need to show that £50,000 you have access, and but it doesn't say it doesn't mean that if you don't have a business experience, you are not eligible. For example, if you have the funds, if you have access to £50,000 minimum, and if you have business IT, if you've never been in business, it's not a problem. It doesn't mean that you can't apply for the Innovator. You can apply for the Innovator visa and you will be eligible. So the minimum requirement is £50,000, needs to be vested within that 3 years' time. Initially, the visa will be given for 3 years, and you can bring your family members, family, dependents, spouse can work full-time, there's no restriction, and children can go to schools. As we mentioned, there are 32 primary schools on the island. Great education, you have access, that will be free. And also you have access to free medical under the Innovator visa for your dependents. You must work entirely on developing your business venture on the island under the Innovator visa. And after 3 years, like Mike said, you can extend your visa for like 3 years, or you can fast track your indefinite leave to remain. What is indefinite leave to remain? Of course, it's like a green card in America, but in the UK, it's will call indefinite leave to remain. So your visa will be indefinite. So you get a permanent residency status, and you get settled status in the UK. You become settled, and then it's just one step before you apply for British passport. And after 3 years, there are requirements to meet your visa extension. Of course, you need to provide the evidence that you've invested £50,000, but also that one of the greatest benefit of this fast track option on the island compared to the UK. Trevor, correct me here. Maybe you may add some comments, but only 3 jobs you need to create. You only need to create 3 jobs, and there is no restriction or there is no limit or minimum requirement in terms of salary. Well, there is a minimum salary, of course, which is on the island, but there is no, like in the UK, for example, you need to, your business needs to create 5 jobs, and you need to pay £25,000 salary to each, job that you create. But on the island, there is no £25,000. It can be minimum salary, isn't it?
Yeah, that's correct. So it is only 3 jobs, and it is basically so long as you're paying the minimum wage, which I think if you work on £10 per hour as a cost for your business plan, that would give you a good idea of the minimum wage that you would be able to pay.
Perfect. So one of the greatest benefits of the Innovator visa on the Isle of Man is that if you do that in the UK, as I said, there are 7 criteria. For example, you need to reach certain revenues, you need to reach certain amount of export, you need to reach certain amount of business customers increase, double. There are a number of requirements, and of course you need to meet 2 of them. And like for example, one of the requirements is creation of 10 full-time jobs, or you create 5 full-time jobs at 25, and then you need to pay £25,000 salary. It's in the UK, but if you compare that with Isle of Man, the visa extension or applying for ILR is much more easier, in my opinion, because you have less restrictions and less requirements, because you don't need to create 5, you only create 3 people, and you get your indefinite leave to remain, which is great in my opinion, because indefinite leave to remain allows you also, once you get indefinite leave to remain, you can, you can also, it will allow you to do business in the UK, live in the UK as well, isn't it, Trevor? Like once you obtain the indefinite leave to remain, you can also do business in the UK and then live in the UK.
Yes, I think I'd say 2 things. One, obviously, it's a common travel area, so once you have an indefinite leave to remain, then that is indefinite leave to remain within the UK common travel area. So that's a fact. Although the innovators are asked to spend or expected to spend their working time developing their business on the Isle of Man, what that actually means is developing their Isle of Man business. So it might be that you need by necessity to spend time in the UK or in the USA or with your home country or whatever for sales purposes or for business development purposes. And so it's establishing the company here, renting offices, which we have some offices you can share, having a registered office here, making sure that you've got staff here, and making sure that this is seen to be the place where you live, where you and your family live, but you would be able to spend, I don't know, you would be able to spend, for example, your weekends here and most of your working week in London, like many people do. So many people who live here have to travel for work ordinarily. So I mentioned the corporate service providers, I mentioned the gaming companies. Often the flights are full going to London City Airport in the morning, and people are jumping, going to meetings in London and returning in the evening. So that is still a possibility, and there are obviously just need to be able to show that you are basing yourself and your home, if you like, is in the Isle of Man. So it's possible to spend time in England, and it would be possible to spend time in a second home in England. But if your second home is a lot bigger than your home in the Isle of Man, then you might need to think about how you explain that, really.
Yeah, perfect, Trevor. I think there was a question from Varun. How is the full-time defined? So the full-time is it's at least 30 hours paid work per week. That's the minimum requirement on the island. If you employ a person, 3 people in this scenario, and then 3 jobs needs to be created for 12 within that 12, minimum 12 months, and that will tick the box of the job creation. And but for your answer, for your question, Varun, it's 30 hours per week. Yeah, that's the definition of full time here in the UK, on the island. And yes, so that's the briefing. So your job creation has lasted for 12 months, and it's 3 jobs, and then you get indefinite leave to remain. You show that you've invested 50,000, you genuinely done business in the island. So you comply with Isle of Man rules and regulations. That's you'll get your indefinite leave to remain. And as I said, the British passport is the next after 2 years, after 5 years, you can apply for British passport. The British passport has the same, from the Isle of Man. The only difference is that the issuing authority is the British Islands, Isle of Man, but it's exactly the same color, exactly the same cover, exactly the same benefits as it's a British passport, so it's one of the strongest passports in the world. And we can help you with that. So please let us know. So I have a question to audience. Do you have a business experience? Please, yes or no. It's a quick yes or no question. Please let us know if you have a business experience or if you don't have. It's for our survey. And endorsement, yes, you need to keep a relationship with the Department for Enterprise every 6 months, like 6 months, 12 months, 24 months. There will be checkpoints. You will need to tell the Department for Enterprise how you're performing with your business. Of course, you need to keep a relationship, but we can help you with the reporting matters. So I also prepared the quick comparison slide here. You can see. I think many of you maybe you asked about what are the main difference between UK Innovator visa and UK like Isle of Man Innovator visa. So this slide actually shows you the difference, and I'll quickly run through that. Endorsing bodies in the UK, I mentioned mainly venture capital firms. There are 46 on the Isle of Man. Department for Enterprise, which actually allows you to. It's much more. Trevor, is that right to say, when it comes to the innovation, viability, scalability, in the UK, the endorsing bodies are quite strict, like you do need to meet this, obviously they question a lot, but of course, Department of Enterprise will question, they will, but can we say it's much, how to say, they're a bit relaxed when it comes to the innovation, so is that, would be the right way of saying?
Yeah, as I said earlier, what they're looking for is to make sure that you're not coming to take trade from existing businesses, from a limited market. So you wouldn't be able to succeed if you suggesting that you take business from other people here, other businesses here. But it would be possible to do something that's not possible in the UK. So you could say, well, look, I've got a for sake of argument, I don't know. I've got I sell parts to oil refineries. Now, if you were doing that, but you were basically decided to come and do that from here and set it up as a company that had your own website from here and fulfillment and everything. All your head office was all arranging all that from here, then it wouldn't be a threat to existing businesses on the island, and therefore it would be seen as innovative, even though there's nothing new under the sun about doing that, if you see what I mean.
Yeah, no, that's great. So in a nutshell, in summary, it's less strict. Of course, they're welcoming the new businesses, they're welcoming innovation. Of course, you have innovative business idea. Then comparing to the UK endorsing bodies, it's we would say easier to get the endorsement. I think I can make that point. Quota, there is no quota On the UK, you have the limitation that as each endorsing body has a quota, but because it's the government on the island, you don't have the quota. Team applications, we have access to the UK endorsing bodies. We have access for 2 of them, but when it comes to the team applications, like if you wanted like 2 people investing in the same business, investing 50,000 each, for example, they can't accept. They won't accept. They won't accept. But in the Isle of Man, you can do the team applications because the endorsing bodies are welcoming that as well. When it comes to shares, I think that's another point. If you do the Innovator visa in the UK, you need to give away, I would say, around 8% shares endorsing bodies. That's sort of standard for all the businesses. But on the island, because it's a government department for enterprise, they don't take shares. In my opinion, it's one of the great benefits because you have control, 100% control of your business. You don't need to give away shares of your business. And I would say it's much easier to extend your visa after 3 years because we mentioned earlier, it's not 5 jobs at £25,000 salary, it's only 3 jobs at minimum salary. Taxes, you get benefits on the taxation as well. We mentioned it's 19% corporate tax, whereas Isle of Man, you don't pay, it's a 0. A British citizenship, it's yes, you get the British citizenship whether you apply for the Innovator visa in the UK or you apply for the Isle of Man. The end, like for example, if you want to settle, you get the British citizenship on the island. And medical surcharge, that's another benefit because you don't have to pay any medical surcharge. There is exemption. For example, in the UK, if you apply for the Innovator visa, you have to pay £1,872 because there was an increase recently on the medical surcharge. But per person, you need to pay £1,872 towards the IHS surcharge. And for example, if you have a family of 5 people, you're kind of paying about £10,000 here. But where on the island, you can save that. You can say, if you apply for the Innovator visa on the island, you don't have to pay a medical IHS surcharge. In my opinion, it's another great benefit. And eligibility, we've covered 50,000 pounds is a requirement. The endorsement letter needs to be obtained from the Department of Enterprise. We can help. And you need to develop the business and genuinely do business on the islands. And the English language requirements, it's a 5.5 IELTS equivalent. You need to take UKVI. Or if you studied in the UK, you have the UK degree, then that is enough. Then also, apart from the £50,000, you need to show the maintenance funds, like living expenses, which is £945 per person. We can make you an innovator. So, for example, if you don't have a business idea, sometimes we have to, clients say, well, I actually have a business idea, but I don't think it's innovative. Or we have clients saying that I haven't done business, can I be eligible? Yes, the answer is yes. If you have the access to funds, of course, we can help you on the idea matter. And sometimes people say, I have traditional business. It's not, in my opinion, it's not innovative. Can I be eligible? Of course. Because what we do a brainstorming session during the consultation. I would like to say, book a consultation. That's the first step. When you book the consultation, we will assess the eligibility criteria of your case. We understand whether you're eligible for the Startup Innovator. We can also advise you whether the Isle of Man is better, or even you have other visa programs like Sole Representative Work Permit Visa. So we will assess after listening to you. Of course, we can then advise you what visa will be the best. When it comes to the idea, we can have a brainstorming session in terms of to see how we can make it, because some people don't know that they have the right skills, and sometimes they don't know that they have the innovation. But we just during that session we bring that innovation out, how to say, from your CV or from your talking to you. So one of the first steps is the consultation. So that's everything. I think starts from there, and then we'll help you with innovation. We have the business planning team, and we have lawyers who make sure that it meets the innovation criteria, the home office criteria, but also business. For example, if you have one page of idea or just an idea, we will put that and prepare the 30, 60-page business plan. Okay, So we can make you an innovator. So another question to audience, what sector experience do you have? Please let us know. What sector experience do you have? Like just reply here on the chat. What sector experience you've been involved in. But Trevor, in terms of the innovativeness, as I mentioned to our audience, that we have a business planning team. We will make sure before we approach the endorsement body, what our unique also proposition is that before approaching the endorsing body, of course, we mentioned about the relationship, but also the business plan is the key, isn't it? Like the well-prepared business plan, making sure that it's innovative, viable, scalable, and covers all the criteria. It's a key. It's an essential document where we have a great experience, isn't it, Trevor?
Yeah, absolutely. And not only writing a very compelling plan, helping to get you through the process and get endorsed, but also make sure that you yourself have thought very much about what you're trying to do. And remember, with an innovator endorsement, you are expected to be able to show progress against your plan, and explain why there's variance. So it's important to have input yourself, but we're very good at writing plans, and we know exactly what they want as an endorser. So that means that we'd expect to get the plan passed and written just as it needs to be written.
Perfect, Trevor. Can you see the comments? If you can see the comments here on the sector experience,
yes.
Seems like we have audience with diverse sector experience. They say internet, ICT, media, technology, higher education. Do you think like any sector that you feel like is agreeable?
I see there's quite a few IT people there, which is great news. And also biotech and pharma. So there's a good biotech sector here that is being promoted by the government. And on an IT front, there's an absolute dearth of jobs. No one can get hold of people for IT. So that does mean that if you, for example, if larger firms are looking for IT software engineers or whatever, if you are looking to set up your own IT company, you can be confident that there are companies out there who would like to be able to employ somebody, but who might need to approach a third-party company to get that resource and to get what they need done. So I think if you're in the IT sphere, I would have confidence that you could do that. And also, once you were here, if your business was failing or something and you thought, oh my goodness, I'm really not cut out to be entrepreneurial, then I suppose that's the one place where you might well find that you can see jobs and get apply for a work permit visa, if you like, with a salaried position with somebody in the future. Because if you're here and you're committed here, and you then find that somebody's looking for your skill set, and you think, oh my goodness, I'd be much better off with a salary, rather than making money myself. Which some people try and think, oh my goodness, I wish I hadn't ever left my employment. I would say that if you're in IT, then it's a good place to be, because if you look up the Isle of Man, you look at the government's website, you'll see that there's an awful lot of IT here, a terrible amount of IT jobs because of the e-gaming particularly, and I think that's why there's so much demand for people with IT skills.
Perfect, Trevor. As Trevor said, we have also work permit visa. We can assist you with the work. Anyone if you have the IT skills, we can secure the job on the islands because there is a demand. So good to know. Please let us know. I think you'll receive the link to the consultation. That's the first. Of course, when you contact, we'll assess whether you're eligible for this IT work permit visa. and it's like Trevor said, it's a great opportunity to consider as well. As we mentioned about the business planning, yes, we have in-house business plan. We can make sure that you're compliant. Also, first the procedure you can see on the screen: initial consultation. After the consultation, we start working on the preparation, the innovative business idea. We'll brainstorm the idea, apply for the endorsement, get the endorsement, apply for a visa. After getting the visa, you arrive to the UK, and then Isle of Man will guide you, will help you with the corporate assist support as well, and we will help you with the reporting to the endorsing body, and also apply for indefinite leave to remain after 3 years. Once you get the indefinite leave to remain, it's the UK indefinite leave to remain issued from the Isle of Man, and you apply for British citizenship, which is a British passport. Also, just before we finalize on the Innovator visa topic, I just want to ask our audience again, how do you like the program? Please write your comments. We can help you with Innovator visa. If you think that you're eligible, let us know. Contact us. We'll be happy to get the endorsement. We'll be happy to prepare the business plan and assess, help you with the your applications all the way until you get indefinite leave to remain or British citizenship. I have a question to audience. Quick, 3 questions I want to throw before we also announce our bonuses. First question: would you like to get the Innovator visa? Yes or no? The second question: would you like to get to fast track and get the permanent residency after 3 years? That's the Innovator visa. Actually, what it gives you, an opportunity to get fast track, because in the UK, Trevor, as you know, there's investor visa, and people have to invest 5 million in order to secure the investor. Fast track. Get the indefinite leave to remain after 3 years. But the good thing about the Innovator visa, you can actually get it with not 5 million investment, but as low as £50,000 investment, which is a great opportunity for anyone to consider. And would like to get a British citizenship after 5 years. That allows, the Innovator visa gives you an option or opportunity to become settled and become get the British passport as well. So our fee, I think some of you asked what are the costs. Our fee, as you can see, if you choose the starter visa, it's £9,000 for 2 years, and it will be £9,000 the second year, 6. So it's in total we charge, say 9 and 6. 6,000 is so payable in the second year. We'll help you with endorsement procedures as well, or endorsement reports. Government fees, you can see, it's £393, and there is no medical surcharge. As I said, you save on medical surcharge. On Innovator visa, the fees we charge is the same, £9,000 for the first year. And we mentioned about the assistance on endorsement checkpoints. It's very key to keep relationship and report. So, and we will also provide a mentorship assistance. So we charge £6,000 second year and third year for that support and smoothly process your application to the ILR. It will be assisted on 6 months checkpoints, 12 months checkpoints, and 24-month checkpoints. We can write those reports for the endorsement on behalf of you. The application fees, the government fees is £1,021. There's no medical surcharge fee, so you will save, comparing to the UK, you save quite a lot on the medical surcharge as well. So, like to announce the bonuses before we adjourn, before we conclude this webinar. So the bonus number 1 is no endorsement, no fee. That's thanks for staying with us. As I said, if you stay with us until the end, we'll announce great bonuses. In my opinion, that's a great bonus. Trevor, what do you think? What's your thoughts? No endorsement, no fee. In my opinion, it's a great bonus, because what it means that, for example, if you start the process, if you can't get the endorsement, we will refund the deposit. That's what it says, and what we can offer. And we are confident that we can get the endorsement. That's why we're also making this bonus.
Yeah, I was going to say, what that does show you is that we won't entertain a conversation where we know there's no chance of getting endorsed, because we know what will be endorsed and what won't be endorsed, because we're so close to the government.
Absolutely, Trevor. Thank you very much. The second bonus I'd like to say, the 9,000 that we mentioned is normally you pay advance fee of of 4,500. See here we put 3,500, but 4,500, which is 50% of the 9,000. But today for the webinar attendees, the second bonus is that instead of 50% initial fee, you can start with as low as 1,500. That's the first stage. So which will cover preparation of the business plan, approaching to the endorsing body. Once we get the endorsement, then you only then pay the second payment of the, after successfully getting the endorsement, the second installments, and there will be the balance will be after getting the visa. So what I'm saying here is that you can start, we can start as low as that with 1,500 as a big thank you for attending our webinar and staying with us. To secure, of course, you need to book a consultation. Please do let us know. I think you will receive the link on that chat or after this webinar. The bonus number 3, we do also have the consultations. I think you can see on the screen on chat button the link for the consultation, so please book. To book a consultation with our immigration lawyer, Mike, myself, or Harvey, so Trevor, the consultation fee is £90, but we have a special offer today for attending the webinar. It's £60, so it's not 90, it's a 60. So if you booked until the end of today, so to secure these offers and bonuses, you would need to, of course, book a consultation first, and it will be a discounted fee. And additional bonus number 4, of course, once you join the consultation, what we do, we give you the plan B, because in our opinion, you need to have options so you can decide which option is the best, but we'll guide you and tell you which visa program is the best for you, whether it's, it could be an option that's all representative, or the investor visa, or the work permit visa, or the IT skills visa that Trevor mentioned could be quite beneficial for you, so we can then tell you those options during the consultation. So please book, and we'll be more than happy to fully brief and answer to your questions. The consultation is cost, it's a minimum 1 hour. It's a Zoom, Skype, but mainly it's a Zoom. We'll brainstorm the business ideas. Like Trevor said, if the idea, if there's likelihood, we'll take the case and start preparing and helping you to prepare the business plan. But during the consultation, we need to assess the idea as well and let us know how we can help.
Mustafa, could I just say about the other thing that we have got, because of the IT, you've just mentioned briefly, but because the IT demands for skills is such as it is, we are working with 3 different IT entrepreneurs who are looking to recruit people to be kind of co-investors with them to get the idea off the ground as well. Each exceedingly exciting propositions, which might be for those who are a little bit cautious about, do I go on my own and do my own business, or actually I have got 50,000 or I have got a little bit more, but I would rather go in with other people and someone that's already developed something like that. Then if you're a software writer, particularly programmer, that's another option that we could consider potentially. Absolutely.
So that's the point that I would say, like Trevor mentioned, during the consultation, we will assess, and then we'll give our best advice on which program is suitable. If you have the IT skills, then I think the IT work permit visa, like Trevor mentioned, is the best route, and it has number of benefits. As I said, you get the job. You secure the job, you get your, you don't need to do business, you don't need to think about the innovation. There are a number of other advantages, of course, we can discuss. So, to summarize, this is a one-time offer for webinar attendees. We are open to questions as well. I'm just also checking my, the timing, because we do have a limited allocated time, but we can take your questions here. Please let us know if you have any further questions. From my end, I can, you can see that there are a number of bonuses, and just a summary of the bonuses that we have. The bonus number 1 is no endorsement, no fee. we are confident. We'll tell you whether we can get endorsement or no. But during the consultation, it will be clear. And if we start working on your case, then if you can't get the endorsement, we will refund that 1,500. So that's a statement. The initial deposit that you put, that's a statement we're making. And the initial fee it's not 50% of 9,000, it's 1,500 to start with, to start preparing the business plan and getting the endorsement. So to secure this offer, you need to book a consultation with our expert advisors. And then bonus number 3, you can see consultation is normally it's £90, but you get a discounted if you book today. And during the consultation, we will talk about the plan B, whether it's a work payment from the Isle of Man, whether the sole rep will guide you and advise you and give you the plan B option so you can make an informed decision. Praveen, Badr, thank you. Trevor and Muzaffar, Praveen, thank you for attending us and listening to us as well. And it was a pleasure having everyone. Vissam, thank you. Great to hear. Thank you very much. So we look forward to hearing from you. And as I said, you can follow the link. You'll see the information. I'll be more than happy to fully brief and answer to your question during the webinar. As I said, just a summary, if you'd like to get the Innovator visa, if you want to get a fast track for permanent residency after 3 years, which allows you to also to do business in the UK, we can achieve. It's much easier to summarize. It's much easier to get endorsement. It's much easier to get your visa extension. Much easier to get indefinite leave to remain. Let us know, we can assist. And you also can get a British citizenship at the end of 5 years for you, for your family. From the day one, once you get the Innovator visa, as I said, although the fast track is one of the attractiveness, after 3 years you can best settled in the Isle of Man in the UK, but also the benefit, as I said, so your family can work full time. Your family, children can go access to public schools for free, medical will be free, a number of other benefits, and there's no medical surcharge. So look forward to hearing from you. To book a consultation, of course, you just go to the link, choose the expert advisor, whether it's Trevor, Mike, Harvey, myself. You can choose the date that is convenient for you, and then we look forward to hearing from you. So thank you very much again, Trevor. Thank you very much for your inputs, comments, and explaining the benefits and attractiveness of the Isle of Man. So thank you very much for your time and your contribution today.
A pleasure. Good to meet everybody.
E-meet, exactly. So look forward to hearing from you, Trevor. Thank you very much. At this point, I think I would like to adjourn. So if you have any further questions, please contact Consultations. I think that's the first step, and we'll look forward to hearing from you. Thank you very much. Have a good day.